Yeah, my team.
What you do? All right, for the jury. Officers present and accounted for. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Mr. Steele.
Your Honor, I'd like to play Jeffrey Williams or JW 249. It's at 54448 to 54516 from Fox 5 stream of this trial.
Did you provide us your phone number so we can get your phone records, Mr. Courtroom?
Which phone?
The phone you had in 2015, did you give police your phone number so we can get your phone records?
I don't recall. Now you're talking about.
Did you give police your phone number in any of these interviews so that we can get your phone records?
Which phone?
Your phone that you had back in 2015.
I had more than one phone.
Is that audible? Mr. Copeland, that's you testifying before this jury, August 12, 2024, where you explained that you had multiple phones on January 10, 2015. Does that sound right?
That's what it said.
Did the district attorney's office, did the federal authorities, did homicide detective Thorpe, Detective Dennis, Detective Gaither, anybody, Agent Cunningham, anybody in law enforcement, did they ever seek to get a warrant, a search warrant for your other phone or phones?
Speculation. Sustained.
Did you ever get served with a search warrant, a warrant, or even asked to give the police your other phones or the district attorney's office?
No.
I'm going to show you and play for you, with the court's permission, Jeffrey Williams or JW 244D, as in David, States Exhibit number 378, YB as in Barry. Your Honor, that's the January 28, 2015 meeting or interrogation. It's at 7:12:03 p.m. to 7:12:43 p.m. And this discusses, Mr. Copeland, just make sure I'm right, that you and your brother made a false report of who's driving a vehicle because you had a suspended license. If you can listen to that, make sure that's what that's about.
So I got back in the car, we rolled out on Lakewood, got back on the freeway, went to the house, told my brother, he didn't get tried to kill.
Why you had your brother file a police report?
Cause I ain't got a license. You still a victim though, like, they still lock me up.
Bro, if you ain't in the car, listen, if you ain't driving the car when we get there, we're not gonna waste our time on lock you up for driving with because now you didn't kind of, now you didn't kind of sway the investigation that y'all made a false police report. Now I ain't trying to lock y'all up for that shit, but if we get some evidence or get a gun or something to match shell cases or whatever like that, it's kind of like you threw the investigation off by having your brother take the report. You know what I'm saying? Like at that.
Is that pretty much what it discusses, Mr. Copeland?
Huh?
Is that what it discusses? What you're discussing with the detectives, you had your brother file a report, a false police report. Is that what it's discussing?
Right.
Okay. And you understood on January 10, 2015, that the cell phone that you told the police about would show an approximate location, right?
Huh?
The cell phone that you had on that desk in front of Detective Thorpe that you told the police about, that would show an approximate location of where the cell phone was, right?
I don't know. I don't get what you're saying.
Okay, it's me. I apologize. When you were with Detective Thorpe on January 11th, 2015, about 7-8 hours after Mr. Thomas was shot, okay? And you brought with that phone, you brought that phone with you? If that phone was with somebody else and not you, at the time Donovan Thomas's shooting, the police didn't have all your phones, right? Well, you didn't give, I'll correct.
Just rephrase it. It was kind of
Sure.
confusing.
You didn't give the police all your cell phones that you had with you or access to on January 10th, 2015, but you did show one phone, true?
He didn't. I don't even think he wanted my phone.
All right. Now, did the police ever come to you? When I say police, I'm including everybody, or the district attorney's office, come to you and inquire of you, ask you, your phone shows no calls between 7:01 at night and 7:23 or 24 at night on the night Donovan Thomas is shot. Did they ever ask you to explain or why there are no calls during that time? Did they ever discuss that with you?
They don't tell me nothing.
Okay. All right. I'd like to go to the next recording. And this is Jeffrey Williams 24 or JW 240L, as in laughter, states exhibit number 378Y, E as in Aaron. Your Honor, this is June 10th, 2015. And Mr. Copeland, June 10th, 2015 interrogation meeting. It's at 9:55:46 a.m. to 9:56:01 a.m. And it is you, I believe, and you make sure, saying that you called Jeffrey Williams from the green store. And it's something like this. You said, all right, so I walk up on my brother's house. Hey, bruh, let me see your car real quick. He gives me the car. Boom. I get in the car. I pull up at the green store. When I got to the green store, this is what I did. I called Thug. I ain't called D right then and there. Detective says, and you say, I called Thug. He ain't answer. I'd like you to listen, make sure that that's correct, okay?
All right. So I'm on my brother's house. I run to the car right quick and give me the car. I get the car, pull up at the green store. When I got to the green store, they were like, I called Thug. I ain't called you right there. I called Thug. He ain't answer.
Mr. Copeland, did the police or the district attorney's office ever come to you and ask you on your phone records whether it supported or did not support that you called Jeffrey Williams from around the green store on or around the time Donovan Thomas was shot?
I don't know what you. I don't. Ask me again.
Yes, sir. Did the police or the district attorney's office ever come to you and ask you to explain your cell records, your cell phone records, and ask you about this comment that you called Jeffrey from around the green store at around the time of Donovan Thomas's killing? Did they ever do that with you?
Can you ask me short so I can
Yeah.
catch it? It's too long for me.
No, it's my bad. It's my fault. I apologize. Did the police ever share with you or the district attorney's office go over with you your cell phone records that they may have? Did they ever do that?
No.
Going back to 2014, going into 2015, you met Jeffrey Williams for a short period of time that you were, my word would be hanging out with him, but that's a bad word, that you were in his company and he was in your company, a short period of time. Is that fair to say?
Right.
And when you met him, you already said that he was very popular.
Yes.
True. And is it true that that you observed, he was trying to help people like you, but other people too, to get jobs, like legitimate jobs in
What you mean?
music, recording studios.
No, I'm saying I don't get what you're asking me.
Okay, let me ask you a different way. So forget about what I said. When you met Jeffrey, did you witness him trying to get people to have a legitimate job? A legitimate just means a job at a recording studio, make music, trying to help people.
I can't speak for other people, but he tried to help me.
And when you knew him for the period of time, we're really talking about like between your birthdays. Do you know Jeffrey Williams' birthday by any chance? And if you don't, that's fine.
Well, now I do it, but
You didn't back then? Okay.
I didn't. Yeah.
Is it fair to say that you and he knew each other, but like after your birthday in July of 2014 and really stopped because you were in custody anyway, by July 2015? That's the period of time that you knew each other? Is that true?
No, I didn't. From 2014, I met him like at the end of 2014.
And then you already told the jury, but you got locked up a lot. The police kept locking you up in January, February, March, April, May, and then June, you were locked up in federal custody for 51 months. True?
Yes.
Okay. And that's really the only period that you knew Jeffrey. It's
Yeah.
the only time that you were around him or he was around you. True?
Well, really, we wasn't even together every day. I was out in the neighborhood.
So when the state is asking, like, you questioned about, you were so close with him, what you really did was you go to a studio, he let you come to a studio. True?
Yes. I was going with somebody else.
Yeah. You went originally with a gentleman I know as Mr. Trontavis Stevens. You know that name?
Yes.
Is that also Slug and Tick?
I
Same
know.
person?
I called him Ted. Yeah.
Okay. And that's how you first were introduced to be around Jeffrey Williams. True?
I think so.
And then you would see him, he'd allow you, and when I say allow you, I mean, it was okay. It allowed a lot of people to go to his shows, right?
I think Ted invited me out.
Okay. And that was really your relationship with, and he would take pictures with you if you wanted to, and he wanted to. True?
Yeah, I asked.
Yeah. And you put that on social media. You were promoting Jeffrey, and you liked that.
He give me, yeah.
And it gave you a little bit of maybe
No, a
fame.
lot.
Okay. Gave you a lot of fame. True?
Yeah.
And you were trying to launch your own career as a musical artist at that time. True?
I was trying to find myself.
Okay. Later, though, you did try to, and you did launch your career as a musical artist, right?
Well, I going back to jail, they started locking me back up.
You were trying to do that, though. You were trying to do
I tried it.
Yes. You had a manager.
Huh?
You had a manager.
Yes, I had a lot of stuff.
Yeah. They were controlling your social media feeds, etc.
Yes.
True. Okay. You put out music videos. True?
Well, my manager and them did.
Sure. But you were featured. You were starred.
Right.
It was your music.
Right.
Okay. Jeffrey never had the pleasure of having you featured in one of his songs. Is that true?
No, I ain't never been in his song.
Okay. And Jeffrey never was featured in one of your songs. Is that true?
No, me and him don't have music together.
All right. But he did put you in one song of his. You know the song Halftime?
I'm listening.
Do you remember the line, and I'm not saying this to quote, but something effective, if you mess with me, Woody will come up and pop in the noggin. And if that's not a quote, I'm not trying to misquote it, but that's what is that something like what it says in that song?
Yeah.
And the song is Halftime, right?
Yes.
Wildly popular song.
Yes.
And the police, when that song was released, the police seized on that to use it against you, basically. You knew that, right?
Sustained.
From your vantage point, and what that means is you learned that the police was using that song. They asked you about that song.
No, they told me.
Yeah.
One of them told me that I think I had got out like shit. I got out one of the jails and they got me the next day. And they were like, yeah, man, now you're at the top of our radar. It was something like, and he pissed me off when he said it.
He being the detective.
No, it wasn't no detective, it was the police.
Okay. The police officer upset you when they
I think it was Dennis that said it. It was one of them that said it to me.
Now, that's the only time you're mentioned in one of Jeffrey's songs. Is that true?
What you mean?
There's not another song that Jeffrey, to your knowledge, mentions you.
Yes.
Okay. And Halftime, you know this, was made in 2000. It wasn't released till 2015, but it was made in 2014. Is that true?
Yes. It's an old.
And there's no truth to that lyric that you would pop somebody in the noggin for Jeffrey. Am I right?
I would never.
I want to go back to what we talked about earlier, that Jeffrey was in fact this is, by the way, Your Honor, this is JW Jeffrey Williams 241B, as in Barry States Exhibit 378Y, A as in Elisa. It's at 3:16:50 a.m. to 3:16:56 a.m. And this is January 28th, 2015 meeting or interview or interrogation with the police. Okay, Mr. Copeland, I'd like you to listen to this about things were good with Jeffrey. If you could just listen to this.
Defense counsel, January 20th, I think this is the January 11th interview.
You are, and thank you very much. I apologize, Your Honor. It's Mr. Copeland, it's January 11th, 2015 with Detective Thorpe. Same time.
I was cool with him at first. When Thorpe goes up, George started letting me hang and put me out on his songs and videos.
You were telling Detective Thorpe that Jeffrey was cool with Mr. Thomas, right?
I guess.
And that's the truth, though, right?
I don't know. I'm saying I can't hear what I said in the video.
Okay, how about this? From your observations, Jeffrey was on good terms with Donovan Thomas.
I don't think I ever seen them two. I can't remember being around both of them at one time.
You never saw them dap each other up?
I'm saying I don't think I've been around with. I don't think I've been around like if I never seen them. I don't think I've been around with both of them in the same place. If that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
I don't remember. I can't remember seeing both of them in the same place.
Okay. I want to talk with you about what you told the detectives. It's June 10, 2015. And this is when you're telling the detectives you're at the McDonald's and D gets into your car. I want to talk to you about this. This is JW or Jeffrey Williams 240M as in Magic, States Exhibit number 378, YE as in Aaron, 2:45 p.m. to 2:46 p.m. And you say to the police, SHI blank, I just heard D got in the car and he was like, they just killed him. Or he like, yeah. He like, boy, they killed Nut. Detective Thorpe said, who he say killed Nut? You said, I'm telling you. Like my heart started pounding. Like who? He was like, them. And then Nard got in the car. He shut up talking. So we get riding. I'm like, where the HELL, we going? But he told me that I was already trying to get the HELL away from them. So Moonton FaceTimed me. He like, boy, you know, old boy just got shot, right? They saying, boy, he just might not make it. I'm like, who? He like, nut. I'm like, huh? Man, he trying. He like, SHI, boy, you know, they could scream. You know, they could scream out a name, right? Man, boy, I ain't got nothing to do with it. So SHI, I'm like, man, my head started hurting instantly. I got off the phone with him. So we following behind them, we dropped. That's when we dropped them at Thug's house. They was in the car, in the first car. So when we pulled up, I want you to listen to this and tell me if that's what we're talking about. Excuse me.
So I just heard the guy place like they killed him. Yeah, you like, boy, they killed Nut. When you say killed Nut, I'm just saying, I'm like, my heart started pounding like who? He like, damn. And then another guy in the car, he shut up top. So we get around. I'm like, where they was going? But when he told me that, I was already trying to get a head away from him. So I moved to FaceTime, he like, but you know, old boy, they got shot. I was saying, boy, his head might not make it. I'm like, who? He like, Nut. I'm like, him. Man, he like, shit, well, you know they could scream, out of name, right? Man, well, I ain't got nothing to do with it. So shit, I like, man, my head burning instantly. I got off on him. So we fight behind him, we drop him. Then we pull up his thug.
Mr. Copeland, did the district attorney's office or anybody in law enforcement, an agent with the FBI who's a cell phone expert or any of the police, did they ever go over with you where your cell phone that you told them about was traveling from the McDonald's area towards Jeffrey's home on January 10th, 2015? Did they ever ask you about that to explain it?
No.
Now, when you were trying to, or you put out some of your music, I want to talk to you about that if I can, okay? Now, do you remember putting out a song and a music video entitled Homicide?
Yeah.
And Jeffrey had nothing to do with that song or music video. Is that true?
I started doing music with somebody else.
And one of the people that you started to do music with, and he's shown in your video to Homicide, is a gentleman named Mr. Turner, or you referred to him as Threat. Is that true?
Yeah.
And in the music video Homicide that you put out, would you recognize that music video if it was shown to you?
It's my video?
Yeah, of course.
It's mine.
Okay. I'd like to show you, and Your Honor, move into evidence, Jeffrey Williams, number 243B, as in Barry, and it's a music video by Mr. Copeland. And I want to ask you a couple of questions about that, okay, Mr. Copeland? I'd like to show it first and then ask you some questions, okay?
All right.
First, I think he needs to show it to the witness. And
I think there's a proper foundation.
tiny
Okay.
little clip and see if he recognizes.
Mr. Kokomo, with the court's permission, is approaching.
You may.
Thank you. Mr. Copeland, just do me a favor. When Mr. Kokomo comes to you, just watch this for as long as you need.
Just to see whether you recognize it as the music video that is homicide.
Wait, you have to show it to the state first. They have it. But just
Is this all on the
4 minutes.
drive or whatever that you provided already?
Yes.
So then they,
And Your Honor, I misspoke. It's JW243C as in Colette is not B.
okay.
Yeah, they my video.
Mr. Copeland, I heard what you said. I'm going to repeat it. If it's not what you said, just correct me. That is, you recognize it as your video.
Yeah, I shot that video.
Okay. Your Honor, I move into evidence. I'd like to play Jeffrey Williams 243C as in Colette.
Relevant, Your Honor.
What's the relevance?
I believe that there is an indication of an image of, that appears to be like Mr. Donovan Thomas, and threat is in the video as well as Mr. Copeland.
All right, can we just maybe zoom to those
Sure.
parts and do those little parts instead of the entirety of it?
Yeah.
Unless the entirety of it's relevant.
No. We-
Okay,
we can
thank you.
absolutely do it. I move for the admission of everything, but for purposes of
Sure.
expedition.
All right,
Okay.
it's admitted.
And I would just need Mr. Kokomo, Your Honor, to announce what time he is
Okay.
playing, if that's okay. Or he could tell. Your Honor, Mr. Kokomo said starting at 41 seconds. May I just look and see what he's playing?
Sure. Yes.
We would like to play with the court's permission. I know it's in evidence, but 4034 through 4050 first, and then it's going to be stopped, and then 356:02 to the end.
Okay. Go ahead.
But matter of fact, he calling right now.
Say, twin, you got that fuck nigga y'all been looking for.
Where y'all at? Where you at?
We at the spot.
Man, she been right now. We on the way.
All right. They on the way now, little bro.
And if you can go back, Mr. Kokomo, just for the jurors, Mr. Copeland, I'd just like to explain some things. the person right there in the black, oh, okay, in the black shirt with the red-looking bow tie and the red vest on the cell phone, you see that person? Can you tell the jurors who that is?
Threat.
And I heard you, but your hands are over your mouth. Do you mind just
I
telling?
said that threat.
Okay. And then if you go back a little bit, Mr. Kokomo, and Mr. Kokomo, what time is that we just announced? 53:58, Your Honor, is what we were just talking about. And if you just go back a little bit more. Keep going back just a little bit more. Right up, go just ahead right there. And Mr. Copeland at 4094, is it fair to say that's you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to go to 5602. That's wrong. 3 minutes, 56 seconds, 02 to the end.
Triple cross, cause that boy is speaking to the boss. Me and what it costs, do what it costs. We ain't take no loss. Homicide, we're gonna.
Mr. Copeland, do you remember telling District Attorney Hilton before June 7, 2024, that's the first time the jurors ever saw you come into the courtroom? Judge Glanville was the judge at that time, and you invoked the Fifth Amendment. That's the day I'm talking about. So before that day, okay? Am I losing you? Because I'm not trying to. I lost you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're finished with the exhibit. Can you take it down?
Yeah.
But before, I'm sorry.
You finished with it?
For now, I'm going to go
Okay.
back to before the first time the jurors saw you testify on a Friday, June 7, 2024. Before that, do you remember telling District Attorney Hilton that you made a video admitting to killing Donovan Thomas? Do you remember saying that?
Huh?
Do you remember saying on social media or otherwise that you made a video or a statement that you admitted to killing Donovan Thomas? Do you remember saying that?
Objection, mischaracterization of evidence. Not even mischaracterization.
I don't know how to rule on that.
Okay.
I don't have anything in front of me.
That's fine. Let me get the, can I have 1 second?
Yeah, it's not an evidentiary objection, by the way.
Well, then, I'm going to ask you another question. On what we just saw on Jeffrey Williams 243C, that man who had money on his head and then was shot in the video, remember that on the homicide video? Did that have anything in your mind to do with Donovan Thomas?
I don't get what you're asking me.
When you did that video, did that have anything in your mind to do with the killing of Donovan Thomas?
No.
Okay. It's just a video, a music video?
Yeah, just a video.
Now, when part of your what you try to give out to the public is that you are a real gangster. Is that true?
Huh?
Do you remember giving an interview on the porch interview? Do you remember that?
Off the porch?
Off the porch, yes, sir. Do you remember doing that interview?
I remember doing it, but I don't remember what I said.
Okay. Do you remember saying that you are a real gangster, but other people are just musicians? They're just played Gangsters. Do you remember saying something like that?
You gotta show me.
All right. Mr. Kokomo, this is Your Honor, Jeffrey Williams, 246. It's April 29, 2020, off the porch interview with Mr. Copeland. And the relevant times are going to be 5 minutes, 4 seconds, 5 minutes, 12 seconds, 8 minutes, 59 seconds to 9 minutes, 7 seconds.
I remember. I said I don't know what he's talking about.
Sorry, Mr. Copeland. Do you remember that video, excuse me, the off the porch interview?
I remember, but I don't remember what was said.
Okay. Was that you in that video that was shown to you?
In that picture he showed me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you need to hear what was said? Did Mr. Kokomo play that for you?
No, he just showed me a picture and walked off.
Mr. Kokomo, would you just show Mr. Copeland the relevant portions, 504, and you can listen to any of it, 504 to 512 and 859 to 907. Mr. Copeland, just listen to this yourself, please. They have it. Just say.
That's it.
That's you in during your interview or part of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Your Honor, I move for the admission of Jeffrey Williams 246 specifically, and I don't care if the whole interview's in, but specifically the times I announced, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we're objecting based on improper character, and we can approach for some other matters, Your Honor.
All right, instead of approaching, because I haven't seen this before, so I'm gonna need to see it as well. I'm gonna excuse y'all to the jury room.
I step out too.
Yes, for now, but stay
Be right there.
close. And yeah, I may end up just sending you to lunch, but not yet. If I'm gonna do that, I'll send word. Okay, so just step to the jury room for now. All right, I know there was an improper character objection. Whose character?
At this point, it seems like Mr. Steele is implying for the witness about him being a gangster. It sounds like he's going down a line of a some other dude did it defense, especially speaking about threats and the homicide video, and then this video, this on the porch video of Mr. Copeland speaking about being a gangster. We think that this is more prejudicial than probative, substantially more prejudicial than probative. And so those are the basis for our objections.
And so whose character are you alleging it's improperly impugning?
Mr. Copeland.
Okay, let me see what you're planning to play.
So at the end of the day, I got a story to tell.
Yeah.
You want to listen to it? Or you gonna keep listening to these niggas that ain't did nothing gangster, nothing tougher than they life. So to hear so many people like it just build my confidence. I mean, it because I had a pride thing, like I don't want to be labeled as nothing but a gangster. So if you look at me anything other than that, you got a problem. I'm gonna slap the shit out of you. But whenever
I'm gonna overrule those objections.
It'll be very short, Your Honor.
Okay, and I'm gonna have the jury back. Ms. Pressfield, apparently one of the jurors, she was not hospitalized, but she had to visit the hospital last night. And she has indicated through an email that she may need an early break today. Her doctor's excuse had cleared her for going back to work as of tomorrow, but she didn't want to throw us all off in the morning. So she came today, but we may have to break early, and Ms. Perceville's just kind of finding out a little bit more detail. So I'm going to let her come back and let me know what's going on, and then we'll determine kind of where to go from here. So we'll just kind of recess in place. All right, so we're going to have the jury back out, wrap up. I guess you're saying, Mr. Steele, that we can wrap up this topic fairly quickly and then we'll break for lunch. And it sounds like she's just feeling okay now, but will sort of keep us posted. So,
Okay.
okay. And Mr. Copeland as well.
We're breaking.
Well,
Okay.
if this will be a clean kind of place for us to stop, sure.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
Any way you say will be fine.
It may just be easy. Let him go. Mr. Steele, just, stop wherever you want. I mean, if you've got 15 more minutes or 20 more minutes or whatever before the next natural break, that's fine.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Go ahead, Mr. Steele.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'd like to publish to the jury Jeffrey Williams or JW 246, specifically the time frame 5:04 through 5:12. And Mr. Copeland, if you could listen to it, and I just want to ask you some questions, okay?
All right.
You might need your earplugs if you want to use them.
At the end of the day, I got a story to tell.
Yeah.
You want to listen to it? Or if you listen to these niggas that ain't did nothing gangster, nothing tougher than they like. So,
Were the people around you?
Mr. Copeland, are we able to hear what you said during that interview?
Yeah, I heard it.
And you don't need me to explain. Tell the jurors what you were saying to the interviewer.
What you mean?
What was
What was I getting it?
yeah, can you tell the jurors, please?
Well, I did an interview and well, I got to hear the question that he asked me.
Okay, let me ask you this. Some jurors may not know what off the porch is. Can you tell them what that is?
It's they interview rappers, upcoming rappers, and ask questions about the music and your background and stuff like that. That's what you asked?
Yeah, yeah. And this was done approximately April 29, 2020. Do you remember that?
It was done. I don't know when.
Do you remember it was done during COVID, if that matters at all?
But before I went back to jail.
Okay. And in that segment that the jurors heard it, but you're explaining that you're a real gangster, not these other people who are pretending. That I'm not saying that's a quote, but something like that. That's what you were discussing, or you said. Is that true?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to, and you discussed Jeffrey Williams in this. If you remember, I could play for you, but if you remember off the porch interview, is that true?
All right.
You said he was like a role model. He blew up, or whatever the right word is. True?
Well, he showed us that it was real.
I'd like to show you or play for you, if you don't mind. You might need your earpiece again. This is 8:59 to 9:07. I'm going to ask you the same type of questions. Just what did you say? What did you mean? I'm going to ask you the same type of questions. What did you say and what did you mean?
All right.
Same thing.
because I had a pride thing, like, I don't want to be labeled as nothing but a gangster. So you look at me anything other than that, you got a problem. I'm going to slap the shit out of you. But whenever I
Did you hear that? You hear what you said?
I think we all heard it.
Yeah. And what you're expressing is that's what you want people to look at you as. That you're tough.
Nah, I just wanted people to know, not to look at me. I wanted them to know.
That you're tough. My word.
I ain't tough. I just ain't scared.
All right. Now, you also put on your social media, I think the state showed it to you, but let me get the exhibit number.
You better play some?
Well, let me show you something before. Is that okay? Just give me one
Oh, I
second.
was just trying to see. I didn't hear you.
Let's go back to that interview for just 1 second. Do you remember at the first part of the interview saying that these other people are not real gangsters? That's what you said, right? I think I asked it actually. So,
Nah, that's what I said.
okay. All right. On your social media, give me 1 second, okay? Your Honor, may I just go back?
Yeah.
is exhibit number Jeffrey Williams, 236B, as in Barry. And with the court's permission, can Mr. Kokomo just show it to Mr. Copeland?
I'm sorry, is this the same one? The off the porch? This is a different one.
This
Did you
is a
say
different one.
236B this time? Okay, sorry, I didn't know if you said 246, so
46 was the last one.
that's what I thought, so wasn't sure whether we were talking about the same one or a different one. All right. Yeah, he may. 236B, is that what you said? Mr. Steele B.
236B is correct.
Okay.
Did you see that, Mr. Copeland? Do you recognize that as your social media account at one time?
Yeah.
Okay. Your Honor, I move for the admission of Mr. Williams, and it's 236B as in Barry.
It's admitted,
Can Mr. Kokomo please display, Your Honor?
yes.
Mr. Kokomo, Mr. Copeland, I apologize. I want to go through this with you just for a minute, okay?
Mhm.
And when I say this, I'm talking about JW, Jeffrey Williams, Exhibit 236B as in Barry. That's a picture of you on the left-hand side. Do you remember where you were in that picture?
In the back of a Rolls Royce,
And do you remember whose Rolls Royce that would be?
there was a rental,
One more time.
a renter.
Okay, do you know who rented it?
No,
Okay. And then it says 725 underscore WODY, and then it has Georgia most wanted with 2 emoji green snakes. You see that?
mm-hmm.
And it says that you're an artist, or it says artist, the word artist, right? True? Is that right?
Yeah,
And then underneath it says, I came from nothing with a period. You see that?
yeah, I see it.
And I came from nothing. Do you know that to be a series of Jeffrey's music?
What you mean?
Do you know whether Jeffrey Williams ever put out music? I came from nothing.
Yeah,
1, 2. Okay. And is that where that comes from? And if not, that's fine. I'm just asking you, were you inspired by
that's where it came from.
Okay. And when it says Georgia's most wanted, you're aware that you were deemed by the federal authorities as 12 most dangerous people in Atlanta. Is that true?
I was?
Yeah.
Objection, speculation.
I'm asking you.
Well, I mean, it's not speculation, but he's answered that he didn't seem to know.
Let me show you. Tell me whether this refreshes your memory.
Objection, Your Honor. This is
What's the number? Exhibit number?
What's the objection?
this is nothing that he can authenticate.
Okay, there's an authentication objection.
Well,
Is
let
that
me-
the only objection?
Irrelevance. And if we can approach it, we can show you the exhibit.
You may. Let's go ahead and send the jury to watch them. And we'll deal with this while y'all go to lunch. Let's be back at 1:15, please.
You said 115?
1:15. Okay, is your intent to show that entire thing with the, whatever that heading is?
I was going to, Your Honor, if Mr. Copeland can recognize it, I was going to admit it into evidence, and it is from, we received in discovery from the state, and it's Operation Phoenix, and it's the authorities announced on October 29th, 2020, charges for the 12 most violent offenders in Operation Phoenix, and I was going to show that to him.
All right, and
then he has that on his Instagram, or I shouldn't say Instagram. It's a social media account. I think
and
it's
when's that social media post from?
That is, it's in his, oh, I'm being told the answer. It's in his biography or bio.
I can't hear what he's saying, but
He's saying it's in the social media biography of Mr. or bio of Mr. Copeland. I don't know the date personally, Your Honor.
okay. And how is any of whatever, whomever authority this was might have thought in October of 2020 relevant to the issues that we're talking about right now with Mr. Copeland?
I believe it's relevant because the state is saying that Jeffrey Williams governs this person. That's their whole theory.
Mhm.
Tells them go out. They're using one lyric from one song. Jeffrey Williams, as the court may not know, has thousands of songs that Woody's going to pop you in the noggin. That is the quote. And I want to show that they hardly knew each other. They knew each other for a short period of time. Mr. Copeland did not commit crimes for Jeffrey Williams. Jeffrey Williams encouraged Mr. Copeland to conduct himself lawfully. That was on a jail call that we heard yesterday. In fact, included on that, Jeffrey Williams, through his sisters, saying, get out of the streets. You have a child. You don't have to live that life. And I want to show that Mr. Copeland ignored all of that. And after he has no contact, he has zero contact with Jeffrey Williams, he is still putting on his social media that he is a gangster, or 12, one of Georgia's most wanted. He is by the prosecution. These are federal authorities, by the way. So when I say prosecution, I'm talking about the federal authorities, deemed him one of the 12 most violent offenders in Georgia in 2020. And he has done an interview with Off the Porch in April 2020, where he's stating that he's a real gangster, the other people are not, and that if you disagree with that, he's going to, straighten you out, basically. So I think that's all important to the jurors, because it will hopefully undress this impression, wrong impression, in my opinion, strongly wrong impression, that the state is putting up, that somehow this man is all around Jeffrey Williams, knows what he says, knows what he's thinking. He overhears him on conversations, and Jeffrey Williams is there when the police keep calling Kenneth Copeland. It just, in my opinion, and hopefully the cross-examination, that just wasn't their relationship. So.
Okay, well, most of what you mentioned already has already been put before the jury, and this particular exhibit does not in any way shed any light on whether Mr. Copeland is or is not close with Mr. Williams. And I just do not see the relevance of it, particularly given that he said he didn't know that that's what law enforcement thought of him.
Okay.
So I'm going
Understood.
to sustain that objection.
I understand. Okay. We will
All right.
move on.
Okay, so let's all break for lunch.
Can I just give this then to, it's on the thumb drive, of course, but can I just give this to the court reporter? It's the print, unless you don't want it.
No, yeah, that's fine.
But I understand it's not in evidence.
Correct.
In fact, you might not, because it's going to be a lot of, has right not admitted into evidence on it? Or,
That's fine. Excluded. Yes. What? I think I'll let y'all all know the question and the answer.